Welcome to the Shakaama Live Show with your host, Shakaama. Last year, the news reported that millennials, uh, they had done a study on millennials, and they said right off of the top, 35% of millennials identified that they would not get married. Now, that doesn't mean that only 35% would not get married. That means that 35% consciously and willfully have decided that they would not get married, would not have children. All right. Let me give you some other, as I get into this video, I'm going to give you some other stats touching upon that. Now, they also said they did surveys and they came out with surveys saying millennials, are not in relationships. They don't really believe in serious relationships. They don't see themselves settling down. They don't see themselves. So it's not just 35%. The percentage is much higher. And 35%, that's a full over a third of millennials right off the top saying no. The ramifications of this financially and the economy was not visited at all. So, what are the ramifications? Well, we're seeing that this year, and it is playing out now. So now we have the upper end of the millennials coming through, and let me give you some other stats right now. Uh, Out of wedlock births are drastically down. Teenage births drastically down, drastically down. Also, we have this current administration that is putting a stop to a lot of the rampant social programs that were just taken for granted that, oh, this will always be there and the government will take care of me. No, that's not the point of the government, and a lot of millennials don't see the government taking care of. There's more and more independence coming along, and as we move further and further into this uh, culture of making sure that you're independent, that is awakening a lot of people to the fact that the government should not be doing that under the Constitution. So, what are the ramifications of this economically? I'm just reporting this, and you can translate the information how you will. Maternity stores closing by the dozens. Uh, Maternity clothing stores closing by the dozens. Uh, the stuff that they make for bridal showers, those stores closing by the dozens. Home stores closing by the dozens. And when I say dozens, I mean anywhere from like 30 to 200 stores closing. I don't want to say hundreds because some of them are not quite hundreds. Some are. Some are. Uh, for instance, I think it's called David's Bridal Boutique, which sells wedding dresses for $99. Out of completely bankrupt. Every other aspects. Sears, Kmart, what else? Macy's, Dillard's, uh, dozens of stores closing, closing by the dozens. Toys R Us out of business. Uh, we have, and as we go down the roads, every aspect of life, as far as what's concerned of what a married couple would actually go to and support as a business, all closing. Now, I'm not going to translate for you. I'm just going to give you the information. Um, a lot of maternity health care are seeing drastic, uh, off the cliff nosedive numbers. Not coming into the ER, not coming into maternity wards, not happening. Uh, we already told you that the birth rate is in the negative. This is why this was one of the calls to increase immigration. That was one of the arguing points to support immigration, but we're not. We're talking. They're using immigration as a very general term, uh, uh, but it just doesn't quite translate because uh, they found out that as soon as anybody sort of sets foot into the country, they adopt the culture of the country. And the financial culture of the country is that once you get into actually making any sort of amount of money, birth rate goes down. You are too busy to have children. Number one, children are too expensive. Number two, so you see what we thought was a boom in certain populations having bunches of children. Surprise! Those populations are now uh, headed towards a negative population growth, as well as everybody else in the country. Then, when they did a massive study around the world, as far as the Western countries versus the non-Western countries, they found that all of the Western countries, for financially, have a culture of a negative population growth. That means they don't have enough children to even replace the people that are there now. That means that all of the Western nations are facing this negative population growth. All of them, all of them, not just the United States. So continuing on, so we have as we push towards looking towards more long-term family stuff, we have we have already talked about millennial men not finding a job or being underemployed. This push to make sure that millennial women go to college has offset millennial men going to college. So that now we have a majority of the people graduating from college with a degree and attending college. This is not graduating, just attending college, are overwhelmingly millennial women. And because of this, and not that for whatever reason, they don't believe that the colleges can support both men and women, it has offset millennial men so that millennial men are not graduating in the same numbers and are not attending college in the same numbers, so that financially the millennial women are the ones graduating from college. Now, we take a look at the financial aspect of what is that impact of millennial women graduating from college more so than millennial men, and it doesn't quite impact the economy in the way that naturally one would believe. Why? Because of the actual degrees that the millennial women are graduating with does not contribute to the economy. They're not graduating in engineering, they're not graduating in mathematics, they're not graduating in the sciences. They're not graduating in any sort of real how do you say financially viable industries. So a lot of them are getting a lot of the soft. Uh, I don't want to say soft sciences because there's no science to it. A lot of the soft skills like English or social studies or stuff like that. The stuff that the millennial women and the millennial population in general has been sort of shoehorned into believing that they need to be fulfilled with their job. And this whole idea of fulfillment also tends to veer towards industries or aspects or skills that do not actually contribute to society. Uh, they they go with the whole aspects or the concept that you need to be happy in your job. You need to be fulfilled by the happiness of your job. And they do not ever adopt a policy that happiness in a job comes from being able to pay your bills, right? Which was the general satisfaction that men actually realized in their work. You know, the generation X and the baby boomers and before the baby boomers, that men actually derived satisfaction from their job by being able to provide for their family. That the end goal of the money, being able to provide and being secure in their job, was in and of itself complete satisfaction. All of that has been sort of tossed out the window. That having enough money to pay for your bills is not an end goal. Being happy is an end goal. Well, as for an economy, that is not good. That is not realistic, right? So, because of this, they don't have the money and they don't really contribute to the economy. So, women getting numbers of degrees or the rate of getting degrees has dramatically increased for millennial women as compared to all other women coming before them. Uh, Yet they don't have a viable actual degree that will contribute to anything. Uh, from everything from now studies. I have a woman studies. I have a some sort of group studies, which makes you understand a certain group, but that does not translate into an actual viable. I'm missing the word. Viable economic potential for you to go out and secure a job or start a career. I did the same thing, but mine was supposedly geared towards middle and upper management. So uh, such that everybody, it was understood that that's what I was. That's what we would be getting. It wasn't the degree so much as we would be. You know, they just uh, they just said get a degree, and then you'll be going to management. So you won't be the cashier. You'll be the manager in the office. All right. And so you won't have to have money counting skills or nothing like that. You wouldn't be in the office uh, doing everything from accounting to inventory and all that sort of stuff. Anyway, uh, these stores are closing and entire industries are shutting down. The entire wedding industry really shut down last year. There is no fanfare about it, but a lot of the boutiques, bridal boutiques, just straight up went bankrupt. A lot of the home stores, a lot of those types of stores, a lot of the baby stores, a lot of the maternity stores just went bankrupt. And they're closing and closing and closing and closing. Clothing stores, just clothing, closing. It doesn't matter if, which seems kind of strange because it's not like millennial men or millennial women don't need clothing. It's just that they don't have the wherewithal to keep buying clothes. So now you notice, what was it, last year, the year before, that thrift store was the number one hit by Macklemore. Am I saying that? Is that the name of the song? By Macklemore, a thrift store. So they, instead of going and buying retail uh, clothing, they go to thrift stores and secondhand stores to go and buy their clothing, and they now make that stylish because they can't afford to buy retail. They go to thrift stores, and then they then say, "Oh, I have to buy thrift stores, so I'm going to make this stylish. So hey, everybody, this is now the style." Which the retail stores, the retail manufacturers turned around and started making vintage looking clothing to begin with. Nope, that wasn't it. It wasn't that. It was the style. The reality was they couldn't afford the clothes to begin with. So making clothing that looks vintage, which is supposedly the style, isn't really the style. Tell me all what you all think, and I know I didn't go cover all the topics of all the stores closing, but tell me what you think. What do you think the ramifications of this are economically? Thank you all for watching.